What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Easy Root, and I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into the video. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. is literally a week and a half away. You can still say 2 weeks, but it's less than 2 weeks away. The conspiracies are in full effect. People are out here spewing a lot of nonsense, saying a lot of BS that doesn't make sense, and I feel like they're nervous, they're scared. For 5 years, they was able to get away with all the trash talk they were saying. They wasn't able to be held accountable because these fighters wasn't able to get in the ring and fight. Now these fighters are being held accountable and are finally able to get in the ring and fight after all these years of the back and forth, all of the justification. I love to say what the LDBC member, his defense for Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, because I relate that to a similar situation. He usually says, after all of the justifications y'all made for Anthony Joshua, you guys were talking about the numbers, what Anthony Joshua is selling. He's selling out stadiums. He's making this amount of money. He's selling this amount of tickets. We wasn't focused on that. We was focused on the fight. We wanted Deontay Wilder to prove he's the best. We wanted Deontay Wilder to prove he's the best. We came with them hands. Y'all came with the money talks. Y'all was the one who was talking about. Anthony Joshua selling out stadiums and doing this and doing that. We just wanted to fight. But anyway, that's just something the leader of the LDBC likes to say, and I like to troll him for that, because we got a similar situation, almost identical. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder relates almost identical with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, based off of the fact Errol Spence was using the same talking points while the fight shouldn't happen yet. And let's get into it. You know, like I was saying, a lot of people are nervous that this fight is happening. I'm 1,000% confidence in my man and my guy. Pause. I said my man. I don't know. I don't like to say my man because a lot of LGBTQ stuff be going on, and y'all be on some freak stuff on this internet. So I'm going to say my fighter, Terence Crawford, the guy I'm rocking with. I'm 100% confident in Terence Crawford winning this fight. In fact, I think Terence Crawford wins a fight against Errol Spence 10 out of 10 times. That's how confident I am. I think he makes this fight look very easy. I won't say easy. It's not an easy fight. Or the right word to use is convincingly or real dominant. I feel like Crawford can win this fight real dominant. Like, he wins fights where there is no questions. I've never seen Terence Crawford in a fight where there was a question mark, where people was like, hey, he might have lost that fight. Now, Floyd Mayweather was almost similar to that, even though Floyd Mayweather had a few fights in there where some people say it was question marks. But Terence Crawford is like Floyd Mayweather, but also he's a little bit more clearer than Floyd Mayweather, because he gets the knockouts and he wins the majority of the rounds. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, I feel like Terence Crawford wins this Errol Spence fight very convincingly, you know. No controversy. He goes in there and do what he has to do because he knows this is the biggest fight of his career. Now, getting back to the cashing out part, guys. I'm trying to talk about the cashing out part. It's just that, there's so much to talk about. The cashing out part. I don't understand these Errol Spence fans, or what we like to call them, Errol sexuals. I don't understand these guys. These guys talk about, damn, I should have put my seatbelt on. Oh, I can't put it on while I'm driving now. I don't understand these Errol sexuals when it comes to the sport of boxing. These guys relate to a religion called Satanist. I study every single religion. These guys relate to a religion called Satanist. If you guys know what religion that is. Satanists are people who promote the opposite, or they think good and evil is the same. You understand what I'm saying? They think there's no good, there's no evil, if you want to put it like that. They go off the opposite. They do everything the opposite of everything. You understand what I'm saying? Everything is the opposite to them. They living in their own world. They're very delusional, driven from reality. They're living in their own reality. So I like to label Errol Spence Jr. fans as Satanists just because of the way these guys live their life and believe in things. It's the complete opposite of reality. And I'm the type of guy that likes to bring these guys back to reality, these Errol sexuals, these Satanists, or whatever. If you guys don't want me to label them as Satanists, we can label them as whatever, bro. But I just want to relate them to that because that's the closest thing to what I'm talking about. The fact that these guys, they believe in something similar to a word that I'm very familiar with, which is called duality, where these guys, they don't know right from wrong. They believe good and evil is the same. They just live off of opposite, man. How they carry themselves, the life they live. And it's really weird. They only give credit to somebody when it benefits them. And it's disgusting. And these guys have no morality. They live a reckless lifestyle. They don't live a lifestyle of morality. They're practicing, I'm just going to call them that. They're practicing Satanist. It is what it is. But let me get into the cash out part, guys. I'm so sorry. I just be having so much to talk about and I can't get everything out. The cashing out part, the fight is here. And these Satanist Errol sexuals are afraid Terence Crawford is going to make their guy, Errol Spence, look bad, He's going to look real bad, and they're nervous. They're coming up with every theory in the world to make themselves feel good. And Errol Spence is so delusional himself. He's saying Terence Crawford was so difficult to work with. I answered to all his demands and all this. Are you serious, bro? Are you kidding me, bro? Please tell me you're not kidding me. Who are these guys interviewing Errol Spence? Why don't these guys call Errol Spence's bluff? Why don't these guys pull up the numbers? Why do these reporters allow Errol Spence to embarrass himself every time he does an interview? Why do you guys allow this to happen? Continuously allow this stuff to happen? Was Errol Spence not the one making up excuses, putting boundaries on why the fight shouldn't happen, and it all had to do with the numbers? I'm not talking about the excuses why he shouldn't fight Crawford. Let's talk just about the numbers and see who's cashing out. Okay, let's talk about the numbers and see who's cashing out. Was Errol Spence not the one who went on Instagram Live and told us, I'm not fighting Terence Crawford? He was with his girlfriend. I'm not fighting Terence Crawford unless it's 60-40, 80-20, or whatever we give him. 90-10. Was Errol Spence Jr. not the one who was talking about fighting in public, negotiating a fight in public? Was Errol Spence Jr. not the one doing that? This girl just woke up and texted me. I hope she doesn't call me while I'm doing my video, bro. She always does this. If she calls me, I'm going to be so mad, bro. Do not call my phone while I'm doing my video. You're going to mess up. You're going to mess up my thoughts. Was Errol Spence Jr. not the one doing that? What have the guys from the PBC and Leonard Ellaby said? His own guy said, that's not how you negotiate a fight. You don't negotiate a fight in public unless you don't want to fight. Unless you're cashing out. Who's really cashing out? Is it Terence Crawford, who's been calling this fight for the longest, calling for this fight for the longest? He's the guy you guys are saying is cashing out. He's the guy that answered to every single Errol Spence demand. You talking about Errol Spence could come in public and lie to you guys, and you guys are okay with it. Talking about I had to agree to every single Crawford demand. That's cap. That's cap. Errol Spence is a fraud. Errol Spence is a fraud. Crawford had to agree to everything on Spence. Errol Spence, look, I'm saying BS now. I'm talking like I'm crazy right now. Crawford had to agree to every single Errol Spence's demand. Let's tell the truth. Was Crawford not the one told he had to get a belt just to get a fight with Errol Spence when he was the pound-for-pound king? Was Terence Crawford not the one told he had to leave his longtime promoter who promoted guys like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and guys like that, just to come over, Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, just to come over to Errol Spence, a guy who didn't accomplish nothing in the sport yet, just to come over there to make a fight because everybody was calling for him to fight the guy who they believe was the best guy at welterweight at the time, Errol Spence Jr., who was making all these ridiculous demands. Was Terence Crawford not the guy Errol Spence told call out? Was Terence Crawford not the guy who called out? Who was the one making all these ridiculous demands? Was it Terence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr.? Are you guys serious? Are you guys serious? Crawford's the one making the demands. What are you talking about? He did everything Errol Spence told him to do. It's like, I guess because it's been 5 to 6 years, so you guys have forgot already. Call Al Heyman, get a belt, leave your promoter, sign to the PBC. You understand what I'm saying? Crawford has done every answer to every single demand Errol Spence told him to do just to make this fight for the fans. And you guys still don't want to give him credit, and you let Errol Spence come in public. Who are these freaking reporters that allow Errol Spence to come into public and lie to the fans? This is absurd. This is ridiculous. I really don't like these guys that report. The Marcus Hayes of the world, the Sean Patel of the world, Marcos Villegas of the world. These guys are disgusting for the sport of boxing. And I hope they're watching my video so I can shred these clowns apart. I can shred these clowns apart. You guys do a terrible job on the sport because y'all don't answer the tough questions. Y'all let these guys like Errol Spence get away with lies and stuff to the media, and you guys run with it. You're tricking the public. Wasn't Errol Spence the one with all the ridiculous demands on why the fight shouldn't happen? I mean, do you guys not do your research? Who was making more money? When Crawford was making $1 million a fight, Errol Spence was making $225K. You understand what I'm saying? Errol Spence may have slightly bigger pay-per-view number. I won't argue that. But pay-per-view, we have seen that pay-per-view doesn't always equate to money. How are you having more pay-per-view sales than me, but I make more money than you? If we pull up the numbers over the last 7 to 8 fights, who has made more money, I guarantee you Crawford is leading the pack on who's making more money. If we pull up the numbers in the last 7 to 8 fights, Crawford's making more money than Errol Spence Jr. I guarantee you people that. You understand what I'm saying? And Errol Spence, when they went to the table and Errol Spence realized that Terence Crawford was making more money than him, and he realized that this was his biggest fight, his cash out fight at the age of 33 years old, like his boy, what's his name? His boy, Jermell Charlo, same age of 33 years old, know that this is their cash out fight, the biggest fight of their career. Earl might be a little jealous because he always wanted to cash out with Canelo. And his boy Jermell stepped on his toes by getting the Canelo fight. So, honestly, I think Errol Spence is a little jealous of Jermell right now. He may seem happy, but that's the guy who he really wanted to cash out to. He never wanted to cash out to Terence Crawford. Or if he did want to cash out to Terence Crawford, he wanted to have the highest paid, the highest upside of the purse. And that's why the fight took so long, because he was negotiating in public instead of behind closed doors. Errol Spence even came out in public and apologized to the fans. But how quickly you boxing fans, you Earl sexuals, you Satanists forget so fast. You people are disgusting for the sport of boxing, the way your mindset is set up. You guys are disgusting for the sport of boxing, the way your mindset is set up. And it's ridiculous. You guys allow Errol Spence to come into public and lie to the people saying Crawford has so many demands, when we already know that Errol Spence has always been the guy with all the demands. You guys made Errol Spence believe he was this sellout king like he was, when in reality he wasn't. We seen that with his last fight against a guy in August, where they did less than 150K pay-per-view buys. I don't even think they did 150K buys. Errol Spence versus August. He realized that he wasn't this big draw like he thought he was. And that's why he's going into this Terence Crawford fight. At the age of 33 years old, he knows what's coming for him. He knows he's about to accept his first loss. And, he's embraced that. He feels like he's ready to take that loss. He's going to just blame it on the weight. He's going to blame it on the eye. He has a lot of excuses lined up for the loss already. So, it's okay. All we wanted is what we're about to get. The belts. I just want you guys to tell the truth. The person that's really cashing out is Errol Spence Jr. Just how Anthony Joshua, when it came to a fight, he knew he couldn't win. He started talking numbers. We never heard Anthony Joshua talk about any fight about numbers. This is obvious. Ryan Garcia did the same thing. This is smack dead in our face. I'm giving you guys the facts. And guess what? These guys are all stablemates. And the crazy thing, they all think alike. Ryan Garcia was on the same nonsense, even though Gervonta Davis was the A-side. But Ryan Garcia was talking about numbers and stuff like that. Gervonta was a clear A-side. Ryan had never been on pay-per-view, wasn't making more money than Gervonta. Crawford has been. That's a totally different story. Don't even try to relate that. These guys are just delusional. You understand what I'm saying? And even though Devin Haney is not, and I like Devin Haney, he's not in Errol Spence Jr.'s camp, but he's doing the same thing. Devin Haney is practically doing the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. He's never talked about money and numbers and stuff like that until it comes to Shakur Stevenson. He's offering a guy 70-25. It's the same thing. Shakur said, I finally understand what my brother Terence Crawford has been going through. These facts are smacked in you guys' faces. You can't ignore the facts. The facts are right in your face. Who's really cashing out? Devin Haney, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Anthony Joshua, or Shakur Stevenson? The cashing out people are Anthony Joshua, Devin Haney, and Errol Spence Jr. You cannot make this stuff up. These facts are smacked in our face. There's more scenarios as well, but those are the closest thing to what I'm talking about. It is what it is. And come fight night, July 29th, you guys are going to know why Errol Spence avoided this fight for almost 6 years. This is his cash out fight. And I can pull up a video where Errol Spence said, me and Crawford are going to fight. Instead of saying, that's going to be my legacy biggest fight, I'm going to win this fight, Errol Spence said, that's going to be my biggest money fight. Knowing that's going to be his cash out fight. It is what it is, but in reality, he really wanted to cash out Canelo Alvarez. Because we see Errol Spence in an interview on DAZN where he says, I'm killing myself to make the weight. I could go up to 168 and fight Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford need to take whatever we give him. 60-20, 80, 60-40, 80-20, 90-10, whatever we give him. But when it came to Canelo Alvarez, he was okay with going up there to cash out. It's all about money when it comes to guys like that. And people don't see that. But come July 29th, they're going to see that Terence Crawford is a guy who came with them hands. And he was the one who gave in all of Errol Spence's demand to make this fight. The facts are smacked in your face. Stop trying to switch the narratives, you freaking Satanist. You freaking Satanist. You guys live in a world of reverse reality. You reverse everything. You live in a world of opposite. You want to make everything the opposite of what's reality. And it's disgusting for boxing. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe button for more videos like this. It's your boy, Easy Root, and I'm out.